Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about how to make a transition and become a freelance designer. So if you're currently working a full-time job, or maybe you're working part-time, or you don't have any job at the moment and you want to become a freelance designer, my best advice is to actually start small and find yourself maybe either a part-time job if you don't have anything, or keep your part-time job if you have one. And if you're full-time, just try freelancing on the side and try to get a feeling for it, because one of the worst things that you can do is to just stop everything that you're doing and jump right into it. I think there's a learning curve like in everything in life, and it's not all about your design skills, because a lot of designers, especially if you only worked in corporate environments or in companies and agencies, you're going to probably think that you have the skill set needed so that the transition is going to be easy. But there's also a part of marketing and sales, and granted, if you have quite a bit of experience, it's not going to be like a huge learning gap, but there's definitely all sorts of things that you never took in consideration if you only worked as an employee. So definitely keep that in mind, and try to make the transition slow and easy, and try to see if you like it, because running a freelance design business, and even if you're doing just consultancies, it's literally like running a proper business, because you have to do the outreach, you have to do the sales, you have to do the delivery of the product or service, and also the customer service, and then you have to manage the entire process. So essentially you're going to do a lot of things and not just the fulfillment and the delivery. So that's one of the key things to keep in mind. I myself, I've been a UI UX designer for over 8 years now, and I started gradually when I had a part-time job working remotely for a company in London. And basically I was looking for other clients on the side, and I learned the ropes via some coaching that I did with some pretty successful entrepreneurs running 6 and 7 figure businesses. So that's where I learned all of the sales, all of the marketing, and also a lot of it is the mindset. And I know I don't want to go into that cheesy route of it's all about the mindset and stuff like that, because there's a lot of technicalities that you need to know, and those are the things which I actually teach my students as well as the mindset. But when I talk about mindset, I'm really focusing on trying to figure out what you have to really focus on, what things and thoughts are not relevant in order for you to achieve that result. So focusing on the right things is super important, because if you focus, for example, in marketing yourself on the wrong channels or doing the wrong marketing approach, you can easily waste like months and years. And I know from experience, I did a lot of things at the start. For example, I thought that just posting like daily on Dribble would get me clients, and I experimented with all sorts of platforms, Upwork, cold emailing, LinkedIn, Facebook, and pretty much tried it all to be honest. But what I realized is that you have to really be focused and have the right strategy, the right structure, and then try it slowly but surely, and see if freelancing is for you. Now, one of the biggest tips that I have if you want to get started freelancing is to create an online presence, ideally a website. But if you're just starting out, even just a Behance or Dribble profile would be enough. And definitely check out LinkedIn, and be sure to be on LinkedIn with a good profile. Update your LinkedIn is almost like your digital CV, and I haven't sent a CV in years now, and I'm not required pretty much like none of the times to require to send a CV. But LinkedIn is one of those things that that clients always check, or prospects, which are potential clients, always check. So definitely be sure to have your LinkedIn clean and updated. And if you're starting out freelancing and you eventually transition to going full-time freelancing, one of the best advice which I can give you is to diversify your clientele, so that you never have to rely on one single client. Because especially if you're freelancing and maybe you don't have like a fixed contract, maybe you're just working hourly. By the way, a contract which is something which I highly recommend you to do, is to really focus on diversifying your clients and really have like multiple sources of income. In the next stage, really focusing on getting the passive income sources up. So that's going to give you a nice bonus, and you can do passive income sources in all sorts of different ways. You can like create affiliate websites, you can create design products. I think if you're a designer, it really makes sense to create design products because the overhead is pretty much none. The investment is just investment of time. And my advice, if you're looking to get into creating design products, is to try and figure out what you're really good at when it comes to a specific design niche, and then just go after that niche. Because if you create average design products, and I did that mistake more than once, those are not going to sell. People have such an abundance of choice nowadays that they only want the very best, and the very best is going to sell a lot. It's going to sell, if you have 10 products and 9 of them are average, and then you have one product which is really good, that one product is going to make more money than all of the 9 other ones combined 90% of the time, or even more. So that's something which I highly recommend you to do. But if you're just starting out, if you don't have the time to create design products, just go out after freelance clients and try to create a client base, and always outreach. If you're starting out, you have to be an outreach machine. You have to just try and get your foot in the door, so to speak, if you're working locally. But if you're working online, as I did for the past 6 years, it's the same exact concept. You just have to outreach, do whatever it takes really to get those first clients, and also be very attentive with the type of clients that you work with. Because if you work with the wrong clients, and if you don't have any plans in scaling your design business and hiring other designers, and you're always going to do the work, it's especially important to have good clients that you vibe with, but even more than that, that you can consistently deliver value to them so that they're going to be happy. And that's super important to find good clients, because if you work with bad clients, and let's say that you can handle 3 clients at a time, and 2 out of 3 are bad clients, that they don't really, maybe you have issues of all sorts, they don't pay off time, they ask you too much for your capabilities and availability, and those kind of things, that's going to ruin your entire freelance experience, and you're gonna hate freelancing, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is so bad, I just want to go back and work my regular job. But the reality is that if you actually stick to it, and you really just find put in the effort to find those good clients, and put yourself in a position where you can say no to the bad clients, that's going to make all the difference. Because at the end of the day, you just have 24 hours in a day, so you want to spend and allocate those hours in relationships where you can create a win-win situation. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to share more advice on this in the upcoming courses, which you're going to find in the link in the descriptions. And on my YouTube channel, I have over 300 videos on UI UX design, sharing advice, like a lot of advice on this topic. So feel free to check out my channel if you're interested in more of these type of conversations. And yeah, till next time, see you soon.